Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another video review, and this one is the first in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Black Widow Wave Crimson Dynamo Build-A-Figure. Here we have the double pack from the case. This is Taskmaster. Now, he does not include a Build-A-Figure piece for Crimson Dynamo. He is loaded with all kinds of accessories for himself, which is pretty cool. So you can see he has a bow, an arrow, he's got a sword, he's got the clawed hands. He actually comes with an arrow, an additional set of, looks like trigger hands or holding hands. He has his own shield, which looks very small, by the way. I will show this guy next to the comic Taskmaster figures that we got recently from Hasbro within the last couple of years. Side artwork looking very cool. It's a very interesting design for Taskmaster. I, for one, really like it. I was hoping to see it soon in movies, but it looks like Black Widow has officially been delayed, and I don't think there's quite a date yet. Here are all the figures in the wave, and just like I always do, I will be going in order. So Taskmaster, Black Widow, Yelena Belova, Red Guardian, Winter Soldier, Crossbone, Spymaster, into the Crimson Dynamo Build-A-Figure. So here is a look at the back of the package. We have promo art for Taskmaster. It is not the figure itself. The bio reads, Taskmaster is armed with the ability to mimic an enemy's every move. And of course, as we see more and more trailers, more from the movie, we actually get to see a lot of that, what's going on. He can web swing like Spider-Man. He can move around like Black Widow. He could probably aim as good as Hawkeye, flip up his shield like Captain America, and then claws like Black Panther. So all kinds of crazy stuff. Let's get right to it and open this guy up. Okay, and here is the Taskmaster figure out of the package, and the accessories are really cool. There's some really awesome things in the sculpt of this figure, but then there's something that's really frustrating in the articulation, which I will show you guys here pretty soon. So he has a total of 3 sets of interchangeable hands. He has one where his left hand is a holding hand that he can hold either the bow or the sword. The right hand is going to be the one that's going to be able to aim with the bow. It's a trigger finger, but obviously he doesn't have any guns, so it's going to be for the bow and arrow. Then he has the Panther Claw ones. I'm not sure if he actually has vibranium or not. They're not painted on the tips or anything, so it's just all the blue plastic, but you can see his fingers are really stretched out, and you can see he does have the added claws on there. He comes with this sword. Not sure if it's going to be like an energy sword, kind of like in the comics, but we just get this orange line of paint along the blade itself. And then the plastic is kind of this gunmetal color, which looks really good. There we get this one arrow here, and you can see the arrowhead is kind of a twisted arrowhead, so that looks pretty cool. It's extremely pliable. It might be a little warped in the package depending on how yours comes. Here we have the bow and arrow. This is a brand new one. It's not like a reuse of the Hawkeye one in any way. We get the added orange on either end, and it's that same gunmetal slate color kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting how it looks. Can't really tell now if it's pretty accurate to the movie or not, but that does look really good. And here we have the figure, and then this shield, and I'm going to show you guys this now because it's going to drive me crazy, and I'm going to be very careful. This damn clip design that they use with the comic shields, it uses that same thing, and it's a very, very small shield at that. But this clip, be very careful, because this clip doesn't even go onto his arm nicely, so be very careful you don't break this thing, because that, on the comic ones, they can break very, very easily, so be careful with that. So let's get in for a closer look on Taskmaster. Okay, here is a close look at Taskmaster, and this thing is freaking awesome. One of the problems is this hood actually does not come off. It's glued on there, so if you want to rip it off, you can, but I'm sure it's going to look funky on the inside, so that's not something that I'm going to even try. It does look pretty good. We get some sculpted texture into it. We get a little bit of paint, orange trim around there. You think they would have done it kind of like the Ronin figure, but unfortunately they did not. I wonder what the decision was on that. Maybe they didn't know that it was going to be a removable hood, that he would actually be in the movie without the hood. So that's pretty unfortunate. We got this like sash piece here. I'm not sure what the point of it is, because here on the back, it's not like he actually has a cape. So I don't know what the design, what the purpose of that was, unless at some point he does have a cape and they just didn't include it with the figure because Marvel didn't give him enough time, or what's going on with that. So it looks kind of funky. I guess it looks cool in the front, but then when you come to the back, it's like, well, what's the point of that? And while we're looking at the back of the figure, you can see all the sculpted work that goes into the back of the figure. It's all, for the most part, one color. There's not a whole lot of paint. We just get these 2 orange lines here, and that's it. And then on the back of his triceps as well. But looking at it, there's some paint throughout. Like, it's done in a base dark blue plastic, but then we get some of this metallic blue paint throughout that looks really good. So here on the chest and the torso, and then on his thighs as well, we get that, and that looks really good. The orange that they use throughout is a nice bright orange. It came out looking good. Here we have like what looks like T's. I don't know if they did that on purpose or if that's just in the design. Coincidence, it looks like a T. But those are clean. It's all clean through here in the torso. The forearm and the arms all pretty clean. We get some gunmetal here on the shoulders, here on the forearm, here in the torso as well. That all looks pretty good. That color matches the head sculpt there, which you could see the inspiration of a skull design. Even though it doesn't really truly look like a skull, you can see the inspiration for it, and I think that looks really good. The visor itself is just a shiny black. That looks pretty good as well. So some awesome things going on with the figure and in the sculpt. This belt piece is a floating piece with a little bit of that paint in there too, but nothing on the back. So again, sculpt looks really nice, but articulation is a little bit lacking, even though we get some surprise things, kind of like the butterfly joints out there, but that's extremely limited in the butterfly joints. The shoulders are limited too. So let's check that out right now. Okay, so for Taskmaster's articulation, he can look all the way down, or down for the most part, which is pretty good. You're not going to get him to look up a whole lot because that hood is really going to get in the way. You can get a full rotation in that head as well, and then there is some pivot going on in there. Now here's where the articulation kind of sucks. You can't really get the shoulder up so high. So this gunmetal piece here, it's a little bit softer, but it's really glued on. It doesn't have a whole lot of wiggle room on there, so you could see that it's just kind of creasing up and going on in there, so you can't get his shoulder to really go up. So that is really frustrating, and if you do, you're kind of risking and damaging it there, and you can't really work it up to be able to get it over because there's just no give in there. So I mean, you can get it kind of high, but you're really forcing that, and it's not good. There is that butterfly joint in there. It's very stiff, but you can get the arm to go back that far, which isn't a whole lot. And then forward is only very small amount going forward. But there is one, so bonus points, I guess. Upper bicep swivel there. We have a double jointed elbow, which gives you that much bend, which is decent and solid. Can't complain there. Wrist swivel and hinge. Ab crunch that crunches forward this far, which is really good. It's kind of funky shaped right back here, but it works. Going back, you go that far back. It's not too bad in the front on how that looks, but you get a decent amount going there. There is a waist swivel. Legs go out this far apart, so you can do the splits quite well. He can't kick forward that much. Can go back actually quite a bit. There is an upper thigh cut right there. Get a double jointed knee. It looks like there's a boot cut calf swivel, but there is not. It's just kind of how it looks there. Foot hinges down, foot hinges up, ankle pivot, and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So legs, lower half has really good articulation. It's just those shoulders that are really difficult to work with. Okay, so a couple of, one good thing here is there's actually a little spot right there. You can actually put the arrow into the bow, and it kind of holds there a little bit. I mean, you could do something like that and it'll kind of hold. So that's kind of a cool concept there. But the problem is the butterfly joints, even though they're there, you can't get the arms to quite go cross body enough for them to really be effective with a bow and arrow. Like you can do something like this. Whoops. You could do something like this. But that's really all that you're going to do. So you can't get him into a pose where it looks like he's actually ready to shoot the arrow and fire the arrow off, but you can do a pose where he's getting ready to do it, but not to do one where he's actually doing it, because you're just not going to get the crossbody enough motion to do that. So that's unfortunate, but it's really cool how they have that. And then here on the sword, you have that open hand. He can hold the sword, no problem. There's nowhere to store the sword, unfortunately. It's too bad they didn't put some kind of sheath or something, or attach, or just somewhere on this belt to be able to hold it. So that's unfortunate. Swapping out the hands is pretty easy. You just pop them out like so. They're not stiff or anything like that, like some of the other hands can be from time to time. But there, now we have the panther claws, and here's a big test with this butterfly joints. Can we do the Wakanda Forever? And we can not Really? So you can do that. So you can't quite get them over to do an X. Yeah, it's not quite. So butterfly joint, just not quite what we would like it to be, unfortunately. Okay, and side by shot of the 3 recent Taskmaster figures. Here we have this one, which was in the Red Skull Onslaught wave. This was in the Thanos wave for Avengers Infinity War Wave 1, and now the Black Widow movie Taskmaster here. You can see he gets his classic color design from the classic Taskmaster design, but then he kind of resembles more of the Udon tactical look. So it's nice kind of combination of the two meeting in the middle for a movie version with a lot of textured and layered detail to the suit and everything. So I really like it. This one is going to be my favorite among the 3. Partly because of the bias, because it's an MCU figure. I'm an MCU collector. That's kind of how it is for me. But solid set of figures, and I really do like this new movie version. Even though it has the lacking articulation in the shoulders, the overall aesthetic of the figure is something that I really do like. Here is the Taskmaster figure next to Stan Lee, and you can see he is much taller than Stan Lee. And as part of the Unparalleled Challenge, I'm trying to grab something that's kind of right next to me. Here is the Taskmaster figure next to an 8-ounce, or I think it's an 8-ounce, I don't know. I got this from Korea, Coca-Cola can of promoting Avengers Endgame with Captain America. And you can see Taskmaster is quite taller than the can. Okay, and here is Taskmaster next to the Black Widow in the white suit, because the black and gray suit I haven't opened yet. So here are the two next to each other, and he is way taller than Natasha. That is my review on the Taskmaster figure. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this figure. Is it one that you're going to be picking up? Are you glad that it's double packed, thinking that it's going to be much easier to find, which I think it will be for the most part. But you guys let me know. If you guys liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that notification bell. And as always, thank you for watching.